I have a Hampton Bay ceiling fan, so I bought a Hampton Bay universal remote thinking that it might actually work. I didn't realize I had to replace the receiver too. There's almost no chance that the existing receiver up in your fan will match your replacement remote. Just bite the bullet and get a receiver remote combination and then set the numbers to match each other between the receiver and the remote. And then the other thing you want to look at is this O versus D. O is non-incandescent bulbs. Mine is a halogen, so I'm going to set it to O. And D is incandescent. We need to remove this canopy in order to get to the receiver. So the canopy has hidden screws. If you look real carefully, you may see a break which separates a collar from the main canopy. And then if you just turn that collar maybe 1 inch to the left or to the right, you may find it slides down. What you're going to see in my case is it's just some detents, and you just have to push it straight down with a little help from a screwdriver. Okay, now you can see the 4 screws that hold the canopy in place. But also notice that there's a dented area where a knob on the collar is force fitted into position. And these are the knobs on the collar that you can see. And there's the dented area where it goes in. So once I bring down the collar and I slide some of these wires... Hey girl, what's wrong? What's the matter? Live water? Live wires! Oh, that's right. Yeah, because there's no wall switch, we have live wires. You will get electrocuted if you try to do this without turning off the circuit breaker outside. So once I bring down the collar and I slide some of these wires out of the way, I'll be able to slide out this receiver. And the first thing I did was I checked the code on that receiver and then went back to the new universal remote, and I did try to make the settings the same, but alas, it did not work because, again, the base frequencies are different. Okay, so there are 3 wires coming out of the ceiling. There's a black wire on the far right, a white wire in the middle, and a copper wire on the left-hand side. Now, the ground wires are already hooked up for the fan. They go straight to the fan and the light, so we don't have to deal with the green wires at all. We'll just leave those hooked up. We are going to disconnect the white wire and the black wire. The black wire gets connected to the red wire on the receiver, and then the 2 white wires will go together. Those are your neutral. Now we've got 3 wires coming out of the receiver, and those connect to 3 wires coming out of the ceiling fan. And in my case, all the wire colors just match up. They're the same. Now when you slide the receiver back in, you want to make sure that antenna wire is not tucked up inside the ceiling. You're probably going to have to move around the blue and white and red wires and green wires in order to get it stuck in there good. I moved everything to the top because it seemed like it was pretty tight side to side. And then I was able to get it in, and then I put the antenna wire where it would have good reception. Now we're going to hook up the canopy back to the 2 screws that we left in, and then we're going to turn it to the right to lock it into position. And then you'll see on the right hand side that hole is now lined up for the other 2 screws that hold the canopy on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger on one of these detents and then move it up into position with my finger keeping track of where that is so that I can align it with the dent in. Thank you very much for watching, and please leave comments if you are finding any differences.